I'm trying to navigate what to do, which way to go. Because, okay, which recently I lost my mom, and practically she was all I was living for. Like, she was my motivation. She was everything I want to become, everything I want to do, everything I aspired to be was just because of her. Because growing up, I experienced so much of how I don't know if sharing my mom's story to like connecting it to how it's affecting me, and how I feel like I I grew up seeing my mom being in a space that I don't know, it's like a struggling phase every day of her life, in her marriage, every day, trying to just be there, just trying to stay. And this what would I say? This being in a this abusive, not like physical abuse, but this verbal abuse, abusive marriage, and trying to still stick, trying to still want to be there just because, oh, my kids, I don't want my kids to do this, I don't want my kids, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want that. And how she was able to like just stay there till the point that she got exhausted, and the only thing that she could have just done was just pray for death, and actually she did die, and she died. So in as much as I feel like I keep beating myself up ever since I lost her, like I could have done something, I could have helped her, I could have just, I don't know, I could have done a lot of things just like to help her out of the situation. But I feel like, would I say I'm in a stage where I'm just like beating myself or feeling guilty for everything that happened, like why she shouldn't have died, I could have done something to save her, I could have done this, I could have done that. Then okay, I'm struggling with the fact that okay, this has happened, I have to come to terms with this. How do I move from here? Because I feel blank. I feel like basically the reason why I want to do better, I want to get better, I want to do was basically because of her. So now that she's not here, there's no point for me to want to be anything or want to do anything. And this is making me like just like draw away for a lot of things from work. Like basically I work, I just make the silliest of mistake because I'm always lost. I feel like I have like mental breakdown every time. Like I can't just go a day without just not trying to pull myself back into a shell where I feel guilty. I feel like I need to ask for forgiveness. I feel like I don't know. I'm just having so much in my head, and I'm still, in as much as I have all these things going on in my head, I feel like I would still want to move out of this space. So it's just me struggling to move past this phase and try and live, then still trying to struggle to look for what to live for again. So, and still trying to balance, okay, looking at a situation with a marriage and trying not to like get to be in that situation too. So it's so exhausting that I feel like at some point I feel like I don't think I can do this. I just feel like I should just like just if I can actually even just die. Sometimes I pray, I feel like if dying for me is going to be like an escape route or something for me. I feel that's basically everything that goes on in my head. But in as much as I have all this up in my head, I still like go out, show up, go to work, make people around me feel like I'm fine. But deep down, when I'm locked up in my room, I'm alone, these are the things I struggle with. I still struggle with trying to like get out of this space and trying to put all the traumas, like I don't know how I just feel lost. Like I just feel like I've been dropped in the middle of an ocean and I'm drowning. Basically, that's just how I feel right now. And I don't know, I feel probably talking to someone, or because it's sometimes when I feel some type of way, I like take a book and write something down, like just try to express what I feel. But basically, ever since this happened, I've not been able to come to. I can't even write a sentence because I can't even just express. But I just know that okay, there's so much going on that I still can't fathom, and I'm still just struggling. I just feel like I'm floating and I'm lost. I'm somewhere, just dropped in the middle of somewhere that I don't even know what I want to do with myself. But the only thing is just that I feel like I don't want to do anything. I just don't want to live for anything because there's nothing to live for again. Because at the end of the day, okay, if I say I should move on and start living, then I get to do all the things I want to do. Then there's no point. She's not going to be here again to experience all these things I actually want to do. So these are the things that I'm struggling with right now. And I don't know if this is something that is normal for someone who lost someone that means heaven and earth to them. So that's just that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that with me. And I must say that you're not sharing it with me alone, you're sharing with everybody that is listening in. And I first want to acknowledge everything you shared with me. I want to acknowledge that you have a right to feel the way you feel, and it's okay to feel that way because it's a lot of sadness to lost a parent. And again, there are a lot of challenging feelings that comes from it. So I am validating your feelings right now that yes, it's okay to feel all that you're feeling. And again, I want to acknowledge the fact that you are able to identify what you are feeling. You've been able to mention, some of those feelings that comes with grief. When you're grieving someone you love so much, a lot comes with it. Sometimes you feel like giving up, just like you said. And that will make me first ask some questions. And this will be relating to anger. Do you feel angry at yourself or at others?
Yes, I feel angry at a lot of people. I feel angry.
Okay. Thank you for identifying that.
With myself too.
Thank you. And there's also the aspect of guilt.
Yes.
You mentioned that you feel guilty for what had happened.
Yes.
Yes. And I want to again acknowledge that and validate it that yes, a lot of times when things happen to our loved ones, we take it upon ourselves, we feel guilty for it. And a lot of times we even blame ourselves for what had happened.
Yes.
So all of your feelings are definitely valid. And I can say this, that I resonate with everything you feel. I resonate with what you're sharing with me. I can resonate because I know what it means, to lose a parent. But I want you to own it because this is your own personal experience. When I said I know what it means, I've lost my mom and I know what it means. The pain, it's not just an easy thing to cope with. The hopelessness is not an easy thing to cope with. But presently, I want us to focus on you and your own emotions. And, I want you to own this experience at this time. And owning it means saying to yourself that, yes, it's okay not to be okay. Identifying the feelings which you've already identified already, and a lot more of other feelings that may be underlining every of those feeling of hopelessness, every of those feeling of guilt, of pain, of anger, of resentment. And so we'll start by saying that all of these feelings, sometimes we can't even control them. But once we are able to identify them, then we can deal with them. Once we're able to identify the feelings, then we can confront them.